I feel that first and foremost, a review of the 95 reforms is well overdue. I've said this a number of times. Those reforms were expected to do great things, improve things, but they haven't. And in many instances, they've created more problems. Whilst they've brought some benefits, and perhaps we should look at retaining these benefits, we should look at the destruction that they've conducted or committed and how we can repair these destructive reforms that were introduced in 1995.
Before the 1995 reform, Papua New Guinea operated under a decentralized provincial government system established by the Organic Law on Provincial Government, OLPG, of 1977. This system gave significant political, administrative, and financial autonomy to provinces. Here's a breakdown of how it worked and what was in place before the reform. Key features of PNG's Provincial Government System, 1977 to 1995. 1. Provincial governments had their own legislatures. Each province had a Provincial Assembly, sometimes called a Provincial Legislature. These assemblies could make laws on local matters provided they did not conflict with national law. 2. Elected premiers led the provinces. The head of each province was a premier, elected by the Provincial Assembly. Premiers were not members of the national parliament, which meant they focused entirely on provincial issues. 3. Provincial administrations had real power. Provincial governments had direct control over budgeting, staffing, and planning. They managed key services like education, health, and infrastructure within the province. 4. Funding through block grants. Provinces received funding from the national government through block grants and were allowed to manage their own internal revenue, e.g., taxes, fees. This encouraged provinces to be more self-reliant and responsive to local needs. 5. Greater provincial identity. The decentralized system promoted a sense of regional identity and pride. Some provinces, like East New Britain and Enga, were seen as relatively successful in managing their own affairs. Problems with the pre-1995 system. While the pre-1995 system gave provinces more freedom, it also had major challenges that prompted reform. Uneven performance. Some provinces managed well, while others struggled with corruption, mismanagement, or weak leadership. Lack of accountability. Premiers and provincial governments were often accused of poor governance with little oversight. Tensions between national and provincial governments. Conflicts over power sharing and funding were common. Duplication of roles. Overlap between national and provincial functions led to inefficiencies. Why the 1995 reform happened. The national government believed the old system was too fragmented, encouraged regionalism, and led to inefficient service delivery. So, the 1995 reform abolished the separate provincial governments and replaced them with a more centralized structure, where provincial governors were also members of the national parliament.